Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. Today, we're jumping into the Star Wars universe.
Sounds like fun.
It is, and we're going to be focusing on Ahsoka Season 2.
Okay.
It's coming up, and there's this article from GameRant that's causing a bit of a stir among fans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we thought we'd break it down for you.
Right.
It's all centered around this rumor going around
Okay.
that Ezra Bridger might become like the new central Jedi hero.
Like replacing Luke?
Well, yeah, sort of like taking on Luke Skywalker's role almost.
Wow.
So what do you think about that? Possible.
That's a big claim.
Right.
I mean, Luke Skywalker, he's like the Jedi, He's
Yeah.
huge in Star Wars. So to compare anyone to him, I don't know.
I know it's a lot of pressure on Ezra.
For sure.
But you just finished watching Ahsoka Season 1.
I did, yeah.
So you know where the story left off?
Yeah.
Ahsoka, Sabine, Hera.
Right.
They're all searching for Ezra.
Yeah, who vanished years ago.
Exactly, battling Grand Admiral Thrawn. Oh, and then he's back at the end.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, of course, fans are going crazy wondering what's next.
Totally. And Ezra's backstory, it just adds to the mystery, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like the last time we saw him was in Star Wars, Rebels.
Yeah,
He sacrifices himself to defeat Thrawn,
right.
ends up lost in the unknown regions.
Years of exile.
Yeah, now he's back and maybe a big Jedi figure.
It's wild.
That's quite a journey.
It is, and that GameRant article we mentioned,
Yeah.
it really leans into that whole Luke comparison.
Oh, how so?
They even say Ezra seems like the perfect person
Okay.
to lead the charge against Thrawn in this new era.
Interesting.
Just like Luke fought Vader in the Galactic Civil War.
Okay, I see the parallel, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems a bit simplistic, you know?
I agree.
I mean, Ezra and Thrawn, they're dynamic. It's not quite like Luke and Vader.
No.
We saw Thrawn in Rebels. He's not just some evil bad guy.
Right.
He's smart, he's strategic, and he and Ezra, there was a kind of respect there.
That's a good point. Almost like a begrudging respect, even.
Yeah, their conflict feels much more driven by ideas than just pure good versus evil.
Exactly.
But there's something else in the article that makes me question this whole Ezra as the next Luke thing.
Okay, what's that?
Their approaches to being Jedi.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like Luke in the beginning,
Right.
he really wanted to follow the old Jedi teaching.
Yeah, the traditional way.
Exactly, but Ezra...
He's always been a little more flexible with the rules.
Right, like he bends the rules, uses the Force in ways that some Jedi might find strange.
Yeah, for sure.
And, that could have a big impact on the future of the Jedi.
Totally. I mean, if Ezra becomes this prominent Jedi figure,
Right.
will he stick to tradition
Right.
or will he create a new path?
Yeah.
A less conventional way?
I don't know, it makes me wonder if it's even fair
Hmm.
to say Ezra needs to be the next Luke.
Yeah,
Maybe it's not about replacing him at all.
right.
Maybe it's about defining what it means to be a Jedi hero in this new time.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, and honestly, GameRant might be missing something.
What's that?
Maybe Luke and Ezra can both be strong Jedi figures.
At the same time.
Yeah, each contributing in their own way.
But wouldn't their stories clash?
Not necessarily. The timelines of the shows actually work out.
Really?
Yeah, Ahsoka Season 2 happens after The Mandalorian
Okay.
and the Book of Boba Fett.
Right.
And in those shows, Luke's already working on rebuilding the Jedi Order.
Oh, so they're not competing, really?
Exactly. They can have their own stories, their own challenges,
I see.
What do you think are the biggest differences in the challenges they might face?
That's a good question, and I think that's where we should start looking next.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next part of our deep dive then.
Right.
All right, so we've talked about how Ezra doesn't have to be like a Luke Skywalker substitute.
Right.
But I'm still curious about those differences in their experiences,
Yeah.
like the challenges they might face. How do we even start to unpack all that?
Well, one big difference is their training.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Luke,
Yeah.
even though he lost Obi-Wan early on,
Right.
he got to learn from Yoda on Dagobah.
Yeah, classic.
Direct guidance from a Jedi master, steeped in tradition.
Right, the old ways.
But Ezra's journey,
Yeah.
totally different.
Way less conventional.
Yeah, he had Kanan Jarrus as his master in Rebels.
Right, in Rebels.
But even Kanan, he wasn't exactly a by-the-book Jedi either.
No, not at all. And then remember, Ezra spent years alone,
Yeah.
cut off from any Jedi guidance.
Wow, think about that.
I know, it's got to have a huge impact on him.
For sure.
Like, imagine relying only on your own understanding of the Force. No master to help you, correct you, or anything.
It could be amazing growth, but also really dangerous.
Right. It makes me think of Ahsoka, too.
Oh, how so?
Well, she left the Jedi Order before finishing her training.
Right.
She had to figure things out on her own.
Yeah, find her own way.
Maybe there's a connection there with Ezra, too.
Mm-hmm.
Both forging their own paths outside the traditional Jedi structure.
That's an interesting thought. It suggests that the Jedi Order,
Yeah.
it's changing, maybe.
Performing.
Yeah, like the old strict rules.
Yeah.
Maybe they're fading away.
Right.
And we're seeing a more individual approach to the Force.
And wouldn't Ezra's experience with the Purrgil be a great example of that?
Oh, the space whales.
Yeah. Remember he connected with them?
Yeah.
Used their hyperspace travel to escape from Thrawn?
Right. That wasn't in any Jedi textbook.
No. It was pure instinct, connection, embracing the unconventional.
Exactly. Moments like that make me think that maybe Ezra's return,
Yeah.
it could mean a shift for the Jedi.
Okay.
Away from that warrior monk image with the lightsaber.
Right.
And more towards like harmony, understanding.
Deeper connection to the Force.
Yeah, the living Force.
I'm starting to see how Ezra's story could be much bigger.
I agree.
Than just a typical hero's journey.
Right.
Maybe it's about changing what it means to be a Jedi in this new era. But I can't help but think about the challenges he might face.
Oh, for sure.
If he does go down this more unconventional path.
Of course, it wouldn't be a Jedi journey without some trials.
Right.
I think one of the biggest challenges for Ezra,
Yeah.
it's going to be acceptance from those who hold on to the old ways.
Like the traditionalists.
Exactly. The Jedi who see his methods as, unorthodox.
Right, even dangerous.
Even dangerous, yeah.
And wouldn't that be interesting?
Oh, yeah.
This clash between tradition and innovation.
Within the Jedi Order itself.
Exactly, a whole new level of conflict in the story.
Absolutely. And imagine the potential conflict with Luke himself.
Oh, wow.
Luke, even with his own unique journey,
Yeah.
he seems to be rebuilding the Jedi Order with respect for the past.
Yeah, the old ways.
Right. So could he and Ezra find common ground?
Right.
Or would their different philosophies create a rift?
Man, that's such a good question. Especially because Luke's already had some challenges.
Yeah, he has.
Rebuilding the Order, we saw hints of that in the Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian. What if those challenges grow even bigger?
Okay.
And create a space for Ezra to step in.
Oh, like a vacuum he can fill?
Exactly.
That would leave room for Ezra to rise without diminishing Luke.
Right. It would be about recognizing that different times need different approaches.
Yeah, and that the Jedi Order needs to change to survive.
And think about what that would mean for the other characters in Ahsoka.
Oh, yeah, like Sabine.
Yeah, she's struggling with her own connection to the Force.
Right.
Maybe Ezra's return, his unconventional ways, could help her find a path that works for her.
Even if it's not the traditional Jedi way.
Exactly. It would add so much depth to their reunion.
For sure.
And it allows for a deeper look at the Force and all its different sides.
Right, because Sabine, she's not a Jedi in the traditional sense.
No, but she's definitely Force sensitive.
Yeah, and Ezra, with his open mind,
right,
he could be the perfect mentor for her.
To help her explore that?
Yeah, that uncharted territory.
Which brings up another question, the timeline.
Okay.
We know Ahsoka takes place after The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett.
Right.
But the exact timing, still a bit fuzzy.
Yeah.
Where does Ezra's return fit in?
Yeah, good question.
And how much time has passed since he disappeared in Rebels?
That's the big mystery.
Yeah, I know.
We know it's been years since Ezra's sacrifice.
Yeah.
But the exact timeline, we don't know.
Right, and that gap, all that unknown time.
It's full of possibilities.
It is. What was Ezra doing all those years?
Right.
How did it change him?
Yeah.
And how will his return affect everything in Ahsoka?
So many questions.
It's like we're at the edge of this unexplored part of the Star Wars galaxy.
I like that.
And Ezra's our guide.
Yeah, he's a link between the old and the new.
Exactly, the traditional and the unconventional.
That's what makes him so interesting.
I agree, especially in this new era of Star Wars stories.
He's like a bridge to the future.
And maybe a catalyst for change in the Jedi Order.
I can't wait to see where his journey goes.
Me too, and how it'll impact the whole galaxy.
Right, but let's not forget the other big relationship here.
Oh, yeah.
Ezra and Thrawn.
Their story's not over yet.
Not even close.
So we've touched on their dynamic a bit.
Yeah.
But I think it deserves a deeper look. All right, let's dive into this Ezra and Thrawn thing.
Yeah, they're dynamic.
Because their story...
It's far from over.
It's not over at all. But what do you think is the most interesting thing about them?
Well, it's not your typical hero versus villain, is it?
Oh, not really.
There's this, mutual respect You know,
Oh, yeah.
they acknowledge each other's intelligence, their abilities.
Right, it goes beyond just hating each other.
Exactly.
Mm.
Remember that scene in Rebels
Which one?
where they're playing that strategy game?
Oh, yeah, with the little figures.
Yes. That scene says so much about them.
I loved that.
Thrawn, you could tell he was impressed with Ezra.
Yeah, with his strategic thinking.
And Ezra, he was fascinated by Thrawn's mind.
Yeah, even though they were enemies.
Totally. It's more like a clash of ideologies.
Okay.
Different ways of seeing the galaxy, its future.
Right, like Thrawn, he's all about order, control.
The Empire.
Yeah, the Empire's strength. But
It was
Ezra,
rebellion, freedom.
that connection to the Force that Thrawn just doesn't get.
It drives Thrawn crazy.
Yeah.
Because he's so logical.
Right. It makes their encounters so much more interesting than just good guy, bad guy.
For sure.
There's so much depth to their conversations. Like, they're always trying to outsmart each other.
Mentally and physically.
Exactly. And it makes that GameRant comparison to Luke and Vader seem even more off, you know?
I agree. Ezra and Thrawn are way more nuanced.
Yeah, unpredictable.
And we don't even know how Ezra's changed.
Right, after all that time in exile.
Who knows how that affected his view of Thrawn?
Yeah, maybe he understands him better now.
Maybe.
Or maybe he just wants to defeat him even more.
That's what's so exciting.
I know.
These characters, they have history.
A shared past.
It shaped them.
And how they see each other.
Exactly. It's complicated.
And let's not forget, Thrawn's a master strategist.
Oh, yeah.
Always planning ahead, playing the long game.
He's always a few steps ahead.
Pulling strings from the shadows.
How will Ezra deal with that?
I don't know, maybe he'll use his intuition.
The Force?
Yeah, his connection to the Force to outmaneuver Thrawn.
Maybe that's the key.
That unconventional approach.
Embracing the unknown.
It could be the way to disrupt Thrawn's plans.
It's like their whole fight.
Yeah.
It's a miniature version of the light side versus the dark side.
Oh, I like that.
Thrawn's all about control, calculation.
And Ezra's this flowing, adaptable energy.
It makes you wonder if their final showdown won't be a physical fight at all,
Oh, interesting.
but a battle of wills, of philosophies.
And who knows, maybe there won't be a clear winner.
Maybe not.
Maybe they'll find some understanding,
Common ground.
even in the middle of their conflict.
Yeah, they could both change, you know?
Grow through their interactions.
That would be a twist.
It would, and it would show just how complex Star Wars is.
For sure, where even the biggest differences can lead to surprises.
I think we've reached a pretty cool conclusion.
I agree.
This rumor about Ezra replacing Luke,
Yeah.
it's made us think about so much more.
The Jedi Order, the Force itself,
And how characters can change in ways we don't expect.
the power of speculation.
It is. It makes you think, makes you explore the possibilities.
That's what's fun about Star Wars.
It is. So for you listening,
Yeah.
what are your hopes for Ezra?
What challenges will he face?
How will his story affect the galaxy?
We want to hear your thoughts, your theories.
Because the Star Wars galaxy is full of possibility.
Infinite possibility.
And we're all exploring it together.
Until Ahsoka Season 2.
May the Force be with you.
And keep those imaginations running wild.
See you next time.